Behind me here is Samsung Dex. This is Samsung's desktop experience for their flagship phones. The Note 9 was the first phone that allowed you to just run Dex over a USB-C to HDMI port, and since then the S9 and S9 Plus have gotten the update to allow this too with One UI. But the Note 9 has something special that the S9 and S9 Plus don't. It has Linux on Dex, which allows you to run Linux on your Note 9 or Tab S4. It's really cool. I'm Max Weinbach, and this is XDA TV. This here is just a normal monitor, and I have my Note 9 plugged into it with a USB-C to HDMI port. Just down here, this goes directly in. There's no dock needed anymore. And then I have a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard connected to it. But if you don't have a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, you can actually use your Note 9 screen as a trackpad. Now, I'm just going to open up the Linux on Dex app. Normally I would show you how to install this yourself, but it's in a closed beta, so it's not really worth doing it now because a lot of things could change by the time it becomes public. Once you open it, you can have different Linux on Dex containers running their Ubuntu image. It says others are supported, but they don't know how well other images would work, so they recommend using specifically the image that they provide. You can get it by going to download from server if you're creating it. Then you just hit run. This will take a second, but then it will open Linux on Dex. This is just trying to open up the VM. Here we go. Once it loads, it's a little bit slow, it's just running on the phone. This is full Linux on Dex. This is full Linux. You have access to everything you normally would in Linux, just on a phone. Linux on Dex is only limited to what you can do based on the security policy on Android, so you can't get full Linux features, but you get most of it. So here it comes with Chromium, Firefox, and a bunch of other stuff pre-installed. I have Chromium here, so let's just test it out. Let's go to XDA's portal. It works. It loads. It's running off the Wi-Fi connected to my phone with Dex. You can just set it up here. It's a little bit slow. There is a delay in what you're doing. Like I'm scrolling it now, then it goes. But this is because it's running off of a Snapdragon 845 off of a phone, and the phone is running more than just Linux on Dex right now. It's still running normal Dex. So you can see down here. So even when I have Linux on Dex open, let's say I can go open my Instagram. And Linux on Dex is here too. So I have both Linux and Android apps running at the exact same time. It's really cool. So Linux on Dex is made mostly for developers. It's not made for the average consumer. So let's say you want to watch Netflix on Linux on Dex. It's not going to work. When you go to Netflix and try to play a video, it's just not going to work. You can sign in. You can sign into your account here. It's just slow. Let's go Christmas. Play. Doesn't work. Needs HTML5. This doesn't support it. If you try to do it, you get a very similar error out of Firefox. It doesn't work. YouTube, on the other hand, if you were to go to XDA.TV, which brings you straight over to the XDA TV channel, this will work. You'll be able to play videos, and it will come out the speakers connected to your monitor or TV, or out of your phone, depending on what your settings are. I have it playing out of my TV because I have speakers plugged into it. This will work.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video,
But you can see it's not perfect. It's good, not perfect. But now for developers. IntelliJ comes pre-installed. IntelliJ is pretty much Android Studio without the theming. It'll take a while to load. It might not load at all. Through my testing of it, sometimes it would load, sometimes it wouldn't. Most of the times it wouldn't. I got it to open a couple times. See, right now is one of those times where it's not. Just won't load. Genie, on the other end, will load. So you can get Genie in here. You can type whatever you need. Oh, there's IntelliJ. Okay, so it's just being slow. So IntelliJ is going to work this time. This is the Community 2018.2 edition, so this is pretty much the newest version of IntelliJ you're going to find. Again, it's running off of a Snapdragon 845 smartphone, so it's not going to be the fastest in the world. A normal computer could handle this better. A cheap laptop could probably handle this better. So it's loading. I downloaded System UI Tuner Redesign Master from Zachary off GitHub, just as a test to see if it would work and load the project. It does load it, and I was able to compile this app. It would take too long to show you now, but you are able to code full projects through this app. It is just really slow. I was told by developer me2151 that I should theoretically be able to compile Lineage OS and just full AOSP, but the battery limitations and the RAM limitations of the phone wouldn't let it. It would run out of RAM and it would run out of battery before you are actually able to fully compile Android. Besides that, this does have a full Linux shell. So, sudo app-get img tool. The password for this is secret, so great. I'm terrible. Yeah, so they do have the passwords. Everything does work normally. I'm not great with Linux. It's not my favorite thing in the world to use. I'm more of a Windows user, but Linux on Dex does work. It has everything you would need for it. Everything. This is just a normal Linux computer, pretty much. If you're a developer, you might like this because it'll have everything you need. If you're a normal user, it's not gonna be for you. This is not made for normal users. This isn't made for writers. This isn't a normal user type of thing. This is specifically for developers. There's no reason to use this unless you're a developer. If you're just a normal old person, like I am, I would recommend just cutting Linux on Dex out of here and just using straight Dex. Straight Dex is better for most people because you have way more apps that you can use, and it just has way more that you can do with it. Google News, I have access to this. Netflix, I have access to that. I have access to every single thing that my phone would normally have. And it's just on Dex, so this is just running my apps. Everything works this way, but it doesn't work in Linux on Dex. For most people, it makes sense to use Dex instead of Linux on Dex. I'm one of those people it makes sense for. But if you're a developer, you should try out Linux on Dex. It will probably work for you. You might like it. It's going to be one of the best softwares that most developers can use right now if you don't have a big computer. The Tab S4 works on Linux on Dex without needing a screen. So you can have an Android tablet and a Linux tablet at the exact same time. It's really great for people that want that. Normal Dex is more my style, and I think this is what most general consumers will want to use. So yeah, that's Linux on Dex. I don't find it the most useful for what I use my phones for, but it could be really useful for a lot of developers, and that's what Samsung was designing it for. They were designing it for developers. That's why it's running Linux and not Windows. This is Linux on Dex. Linux is mainly for developers. Mostly developers use it. Most students and just general consumers use Mac OS or Windows. Linux is mostly a developer operating system. So yeah, let me know what you think of Linux on Dex in the comments below. I already wrote an article for the XDA portal doing a hands-on with Linux on Dex, getting a little bit more in depth about my usage of it. I'd recommend checking that out if you like Linux on Dex. Like, subscribe, and let me know what you think of Linux on Dex.